What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and as you guys know, the Blackout beta is out this week, and I have been playing so much of it. I've mainly been playing solos, but been playing some quads and duos here and there. But today I'm going to be giving you guys 10 tips to help you guys win more solo games. So I've mostly been playing solos, and I find that they are very different than playing quads or duos. There's just different strategies, different things you have to do. One of the main reasons is you can only carry two weapons. So picking up something like a rocket launcher only leaves you with one weapon, so it's actually kind of detrimental to be carrying around a rocket launcher in solos, whereas in quads, one of your players should be running around with a rocket launcher. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's just one example of how solos are very different from quads and duos. So as I mentioned, today is going to be 5 tips to help you improve at solos and get more victories. So basically the way we're going to do this is we're going to start from the beginning of the game, and I'm going to tell you guys different tips to do at different parts of the game. So first of all, dropping in. So there's actually a specific skill with dropping in, and as it turns out, if you drop in instantly, the second that you are able to drop in, you can actually make it to anywhere on the map. Literally anywhere. So the way you do this is you dive straight down when you jump out of the airplane, and then depending on how far you need to go, you pull up and then almost go parallel with the ground. If you're planning on going a long distance, you want to pull up about halfway through the dive, halfway to the ground. If you're only going a short distance, you want to pull up when you're almost at the ground, and then you can make some distance. Keep in mind that bar on the right, when you reach that green line, that is when you are going to pull your parachute. And once you pull your parachute, you really can't move that far. So the next part of this is, where should you drop? If you're going for lots of kills, you should drop to the closest Black Ops map. So this would be something like a Nuketown firing range, a state/raid, something along those lines. If you don't want to get a lot of kills, what you want to do is go to a far area that's either not named or not a map. So for example, in the gameplay you're watching here, I dropped to factory. 1, it was long distance away. 2, it was not a map that was previously in Call of Duty that a lot of people would want to go to. That'll change the longer Blackout is out, and it will more be along the lines of what's closer to the strafe. But as of right now, people are just dropping in on places like Nuketown firing range, raid, no matter what, in every single game. So when you land, what do you want to do? So the first thing you want to do is simply find a weapon. Odds are someone is going to drop in with you. If you guys didn't already know, they have already upped the player limit from 80 to 88. This makes it even more possible that someone is going to land in the same area as you. So what this means is, as soon as you land, I want you to run around like a chicken with your head cut off and find a weapon. Don't start punching someone. Don't start picking up everything. Just find a weapon. Once you find a weapon, that's when you start picking up everything. The reason why I say this is I see so many people when they drop in wasting time picking up ammo without a weapon, picking up med kits, picking up all this stuff, when really none of that matters until you have a weapon and can kill someone that's in the same building as you. So find that weapon, then start picking up med kits, stuff along those lines. So speaking of which, what weapons do you want in solo? So my general rule of thumb is I want one very long range weapon and one weapon that excels both at short range and medium range. So generally speaking, this is going to be a sniper rifle and an assault rifle. Now this is for solos only. The reason being, when you're playing quads or duos, you can carry more weapons because you have 2 people. What this means is that it's probably in your best interest for someone to have a rocket launcher, someone to have an SMG, something along those lines. That way you are able to win more of a variety of gunfights, whereas in solos you can only carry 2 weapons, so you have to be ready for everything. So the general rule of thumb is assault rifle, sniper rifle. If you're not good with a sniper rifle, ditch the sniper rifle and use something like an SMG when someone's up really close to you. Another tip I got for you guys is golden weapons. Golden weapons are so important. No, the stats on them aren't better, but they come with every single attachment on them. Where do you find these? Sometimes you can just find them laying on the ground and they do look golden, but most of the time you're going to find them in either a care package, aka a supply drop, or just a random care package that's hidden throughout the map. These care packages / supply drop / chests just seem to spawn in randomly around the map. I found them in various different locations, but every time I've found them, there's been some sort of golden weapon inside find one. Now, as far as first aid and body armor, what do you want to do? So the first thing is first aid is important. You want to carry as much medical equipment as you possibly can. So basically, every time you see a piece of equipment that can heal you, pick it up. Just simply pick it up. The real things you are looking for, though, are trauma kits. Trauma kits look like this, and basically what you're going to do with this is it heals you past 150 to 200 health. Every time you see one of these, you want to pick it up and carry it with you. Every single time I kill someone and I search their backpack, the trauma kit is the first thing I look for. It always gives you 200 health, no matter how low your health is. It's the best piece of healing and one of the most important items in the entire game. Always look for trauma kits. I also have a feeling a lot of you may not have known that you can actually get your health past 150. It took me a few games to learn that, but once I did, I realized how important trauma kits were to the game. So the next thing I wanted to discuss is, what do you do when you find someone, when you run into someone, when you hear someone's footsteps? And the reason why I wanted to talk about it right now is because there's a perfect example of it right here in the gameplay. So basically what happens, generally speaking, when I run into someone, the first thing that happens is I hear their footsteps. As soon as you hear another player's footsteps, what you need to do is crouch. What that does is make your footsteps quieter, therefore they won't know who you are. You see me do that right here, and then I kind of move towards where I think they are very slowly, because again, when you move slower, your footsteps are more quiet, and then as soon as they move, you want to take the jump on them. If they also know where you are, make sure you are behind cover. However, there, I was just pretty confident he had no idea where I was. But the big thing there is, as soon as you hear their footsteps, make sure you crouch. Therefore, it limits the amount of time they have to actually hear and figure out where you are. Also, if you've already popped Dead Silence as a perk, this isn't a problem. You can run around like a chicken with your head cut off again. The next thing, body armor. Obviously, you want level 3 body armor. It's the only armor that actually protects your head as well. And right now, it's incredibly, incredibly strong. You basically have to kill 2 people to kill 1 person if they're using level 3 body armor. So, very, very important that you try to find this. But if you can't find it, just pick up whatever the highest level of body armor you can find. During the mid game, when you're making your way to the zone that you have to go to, this is when you're scouring every house, every inch of every section, looking for that level 3 body armor, because weapons aren't nearly as important as the level 3 body armor going into the end game. So the body armor is the thing you really want to find. It's incredibly important. The next thing is perks. Those little green boxes you find everywhere on the map, those are perks. And for the most part, I don't find them too important aside from 2 individual perks, and that would be Dead Silence and Awareness. Now, of course, this is way more important if you are using a headset, but Dead Silence is going to protect you from enemies hearing your footsteps. Footsteps are very loud in this game, and as soon as you hear them, you know someone is close by. If you're using Dead Silence, it's going to completely throw off your enemies. Awareness makes it so that it's more easy for you to actually hear people, and in fact you can hear people who are using Dead Silence if you have Awareness popped. So for me, those are the 2 most important perks. Every time I see them, I pick them up and make sure I have them, especially for the end game. The next and final thing that you have to pick up is equipment. This is the thing that's equipped to your R1 button, and what you are looking for here is, first of all, a couple things. First, note that in solos, a lot of pieces of equipment aren't good. An example of this is an HCXD. HCXCs don't explode, so in solos, it's just leaving you vulnerable in a corner for someone to find you while you're driving this little car around. So I don't suggest using that in solos. What I do suggest is 2 things: sensor darts and grenades. A sensor dart basically gives you a mini UAV in a circle around you. Great for the end game, great when you hear footsteps. They used to be unlimited. They lasted until they got destroyed. Now they only last 2 minutes. The other thing is grenades. Basically what this allows you to do is throw a grenade, wait till it explodes, and then you can reposition yourself. This is great when you're one-on-one at the end of a game, or even like 1-on-2, or it's just great for the end game is what I'm getting at. The last tip that I can actually give you for looting is the 2 things that you always want to pick up is ammo and anything that heals you. Every time you see them, pick them up. If you have too much healing, you can always get rid of it, and you can never have too much ammo. If you max out on ammo, you max out on ammo. There's really no negative for that. So you've landed, you've searched, you got a full loadout, you got level 3 armor, you got some good weapons. What do you do next? This is the mid game. So the biggest part of the mid game is don't expose yourself. You don't want to run out into the middle of a field, be like, look, I'm right here. What you want to do is stick to the edge of the storm. Don't be in the storm, but stick to the edge of it. What this allows you to do is make sure that no one is behind you. So stick to the edge of the storm and work your way into the final zones. Also, while you're doing this, make sure you're searching houses, trying to find level 3 armor if you don't have it, trying to find better attachments for your weapons, or even trying to find better weapons. And then finally we have endgame, and endgame is so important in Blackout because it's not based on how fast you can build, it's somewhat based on how good your aim is, but it's mostly built on where you position yourself and where you position yourself compared to your enemies. So I'm actually going to switch gameplays here to the game that I showed you yesterday because I think it's a perfect example of what to do at the end game. So at this point in the game, there's 5 people left, the zone is closing, I have to move forward, and I have 2 decisions. Either 1, I can go to the right up the hill, or 2, I can go to the left down to the buildings. Normally, if you were playing Fortnite, the better move is to go up the hill and build. In this game, you cannot build. So if you go up the hill, you're a sitting duck. Yes, you can take cover behind trees. Yes, you can kind of have some cover. But if I go to the left, no, I don't have higher ground, but I have the cover of buildings. I can sit in the buildings. I have cover and can use that to my advantage. So that's the decision I make, and once I actually go in the building, there is someone in there and I very easily kill him. But because of this decision, because I chose to take cover over high ground, I actually end up winning this game. And normally in Battle Royale games, I find that high ground is more important. In Blackout, I find cover is more important. So when you go into that final zone, if you have the option between hills and trees or buildings, always take the buildings. But let's say there is no buildings, then what do you do? Generally speaking, you want to find a hill and don't go all the way up it. You want to stick on that upslope and just kind of poke your head over and try to find where your enemy is. Once you find where your enemy is, position yourself in a way that you have more cover than they do. If they have more cover than you, that's when you use your grenades, that's when you try to expose them from that cover, shoot them, kill them. But speaking of which, what do you do in a 1v1 situation? So 1v1s are probably the most interesting part of the end game in my opinion. What you want to do is, first of all, if you have dead silence and awareness as perks, use them right away. There's no point in saving them. Use them. That way your enemy can't hear you and you can hear them. Second of all, position yourself, like I said, in a position where you have more cover than your enemy. Make sure you're fully healed, and then you probably want to use your assault rifle. The reason being, if you go and try to get in the gunfight with a sniper rifle and miss, you're absolutely screwed. Yes, you have a huge advantage for the rest of the thing, but chances are, if you're the final 2 people, both of you probably have level 3 armor, which means a sniper shot probably isn't going to kill them right away, which means you're probably better off using that assault rifle, rushing them with that, and killing them with it. But as I said, if you are rushing them, make sure you have more cover than they do. But guys, that is it. That is 10 tips to help you get some solo victories. Hopefully I'm able to help you guys get some big dubs out there. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have any other tips I missed, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, it'd be very greatly appreciated if you could hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date on everything Black Ops 4 and Blackout, be sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard.